wait for a few more people to turn up. I don't know who's actually joining tonight, but if you don't join, it doesn't matter, because the video is going to get saved onto the Netty Made Facebook page under videos, so it'll stay there and you can go back and watch it at your leisure. Okay then, right, so I'm just on time I think tonight, so I'll just wait and just have a little see. We'll be doing this lovely block. I feel awful because I've been sticking pins in her breast region. Sorry darling. We're doing this. Hello. If you're there, give us a hi. Hello. How are we? We're doing this tonight. Can you believe a week's gone by already? Where has that gone? Honestly, it's so fast. Anyhow, hello, everybody's coming on now. That's great. So this is what we're here for tonight, everybody. Black 2. I don't know whether if anyone's had a go at it or not. This isn't my favourite block, I have to say. I don't really know why. Seeing as I'm making the second one tonight, but yeah, this is what we're doing anyway. Hi Tanya, how are you, love? You alright? This is what you're doing. I think you downloaded everything, haven't you, as well? So right, so while I'm just waiting for everybody, and I do apologise, Dolly, look, I'm sticking pins in the boobage region. It's not nice, is it? That's what we're doing anyway. Come here, girl. Hello. There you go. So, and my design board's getting full up, look. Did a bit of a plique today. That's a Joe Avery design. It's going to be a cushion. So I've just finished the stitching on that today, so that needs making up to a cushion. But right, so I'm going to make a start now. I mean, there's only one person so far, but I know there's a couple of people coming in later on. But as I said, it doesn't really matter if you don't make this live. If you want to sew along live, that's fine, but if you don't, it doesn't matter, because I am going to save them, and then you can go back and watch it in your own time whenever you've got time, because I know this is a bit of a difficult time. I suppose it's tea time in a way, isn't it? But I thought I'd best do it around about this time before like my brain fog kicks in again and I don't know what I'm talking about. So, but what I want to just run through quickly before we get into the block is talk about how we square up our half square triangles. Because obviously half square triangles, you've got a nice 45-degree line going through there. And what you want is you want that line to hit that corner and that corner there. So it's always useful to know how to use your rulers. Now, I've had a lot of rulers over the years. I'll show you this one here. Now, you can see all the lines going every which way on that. That confuses the heck out of me. So I don't use them for squaring up. Initially I bought the edge rulers from Sullivan. You get them on Amazon, and if you can see here, you've got a nice 45-degree line. It's just the one line. It's less confusing. So when you are squaring up your half square triangles, what you'll do is you'll get the seam line exactly on that line, and you can see there that's an exact 2.5 inch square, because I've already squared this up. Okay, so these are really good rulers to use as well. The other rulers that I've found is these are from the I think they're called Easy Quilting. Used to be able to get them on Crate and Craft, but I think I can get them on I know, yeah, we definitely have battling brain fog, love, never mind fighting it. What a full-on blown war. World War V in my head at the minute. Anyway, so these Easy Quilting rulers, this is called the Easy Square Junior. And again, it's got that nice 45-degree cross line there, so it's really good for squaring up your half and quarter square triangles as well. That's a bit cheaper than these. So they're Amazon. You can get them on Amazon. That's a bit cheaper than that. I don't think the markings is as clear on that one. I think because that's a bit opaque, it's a bit easy to see, and they've got red. Now, if you want to go to the other end of the spectrum, hello, Lucy. Hiya, Diane. Thanks for coming along, ladies. Oh, well, don't sew, Luce. Just sit back and make a coffee and just enjoy me whittering on. Makes a change, doesn't it? I normally it's you whittering on. Online, I mean, not in person. God, I don't want to insult everybody. Yeah, so if you can go to the other end of the scale. Sorry about the ring light at the end of it. But anyway, so this is the Creative Grids Stripology Squared Mini. Okay, and again, we've got the nice diagonals there. This is probably my favourite go-to ruler when I'm just doing normal size patchwork, because it allows me to cut in 1/4 inches, 1/2 inches to the inches, but also I've got the ability to go to 3/8 and 7/8 on this as well. I know, Lucy, love you, love. So yeah, so this is a really, really good ruler to use. And again, I've squared all my half square triangles up using this because it gives you the 45-degree lines, and also you've got your squares there. So I found this really, really easy to use as well. But as we all know, Temu's got in on the act, and I got this one from Temu, and I think it was about a £5, which is about 1/8 of the price of the Creative Grids one. It's not exactly the same as Creative Grids, and there are more sort of line markings like on the first ruler I showed you, but you've still got this 45-degree here, and you've got your slit slots for putting your rotary cutter up. So if you don't want to splash out on one of those, because they are about 40-45 quid, maybe try splash out on one of these first. It's only a couple of quid, and you can't go wrong with it really, because you know it's got inches, it's got 1/2 inches on it. You can do 1/2 inches and inches on that one, but it'll be good for squaring up as well. So we just wanted to talk about squaring up rulers, just in case anybody is completely brand new to quilt and they wonder what we say when I'm saying square up your half square triangles, because I know we're squaring up a triangle, but that's basically what it means. Okay, so if I just twiddle you down, this evening we are talking about, and we're going to finish, we're going to make block 2, okay, in our series. Now I'm not going to go over how we do the half square triangles, because we did that in last week's video. So if you do need to refresh your mind, go back and look at that as well. But this is the block that we're actually making today, and it is simply made up of half square triangles. We've got flying geese again, okay, and we've got a couple of plain squares and some rectangles. So it's not an overly complicated block, but you do sort of have to keep an eye on your construction. So I'll just talk you through how this is constructed. Now I do apologize, in my head I thought I'd numbered these, but I hadn't, so I will go back and number it and re-upload block 2 again with the number and the row numbers on. You'll see why in a minute. So I'll just put you down a minute. Okay, when you come to construct this block, as you can see here, this is the line, as we do with all the patterns, this is the line diagram, this is the colour pattern. Okay, hi Melanie, nice to see you, thank you for joining. Hi Kathy. So we're actually when we come to construct this and when we come to make it, we're making it in rows. See, there's 5 rows. Okay, I just think it's easier to get all your points nested up so they all match nice and neat, and doing it this way. You could do it in columns if you wanted to, but I found when I did it in columns I sort of stretched it slightly, and I don't really know why. Bit bizarre. I just found it went together better in rows. Okay, so you can see there, that's row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, row 5. Row 3 obviously is the bigger one because you've got bigger pieces in there. Okay, so that's how the construction's going to go ahead. So if you go on to the instructions, you'll see the first one, step 1, as I said in the introduction, if you've read it, you're going to get instructions like make the flying geese block. So we went over flying geese in the last video, and I haven't got one here actually, I've made them all up, but just to remind you again, this is what your flying geese block actually looks like. Okay, and as I said in the last one, I'm not doing any complicated clever techniques of multiple cutting, because basically you know, some of you might be doing it from scrap, so you might be limited in sizes. So basically it's like a no waste flying geese in a way, because we're just using half square triangles, half triangles, sorry, and we're just sewing them on. So basically what we'd be doing is just matching the bottom of the triangle to the bottom and the side to the side and sewing it up. As I said, we did that in the first video, so just go back and watch that. Okay, so the first part, it says make your 4 flying geese blocks using piece E and 2 pieces of A. And if you remember when I talked about how these are constructed, you can see each piece has got a letter next to it. And I hope you've remembered, because that only goes up to D on that side. On the other page is E. Now if I just quickly go over E, on E you only need, if you see here, you only need one piece of every colour. So if you have cut 4 of those large squares out and then subcut them into 4, don't worry, because you won't waste the other 3 pieces. They will come into the future block. So don't think by cutting them out that you have cut them that you're going to waste it. You will not, okay? Because you only actually need one of those colours there. And I'll just show you what we're talking about here. When we're doing the flying geese, this is where the flying geese sit in the block. There, 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 and there. Okay, there, 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 and there. And that flying geese, if I just fold this down for you, 1 second. By doing your flying geese like that with the square, basically what you get is you get a square in a square. So it's like a diamond in a square, really. And that's the sort of effect that we're getting, and that's what we're doing by putting those flying geese into those triangles there, okay? So you'll have made your 4 flying geese, okay? Just put it up. I do apologise, I keep jabbing her in the booby area, okay? Then it goes on to say, on step 2, make 12 half square triangles. Now I showed you last week the 2 different ways that you can do the half square triangles in the way I've written this pattern, okay? Now where is my samples? Right, okay. So as I said to you, I'm a big fan of I love chain piecing, and any opportunity I can get for chain piecing I will. So I've done these in sort of a very basic way of 2 colours right sides together. I then, so it's 2 squares, a coloured square and a background square, drew a line, and then basically I've stitched either side and then cut down that line, and that's how you can do them that way. The other way is you just cut them in half and now you just stitch them, which is the way I'm going to do. Sorry, I'm going to do that now. So if I just put this over here, I'll just show you here. Oh, no, naughty, need me. I'm doing some applique this afternoon, so I've got the wrong pattern. Now I'm going to, yeah, I will. I'll put my quarter. I'm going to put my 1/4 inch foot on. Obviously all seams in patchwork will always generally be 1/4 inch unless the pattern says otherwise. I've also got a 1/4 inch foot and a 1/4 inch stitch on this machine, so I've set the machine up that way, okay? And all I'm going to do is sew straight down that seam, and when I get to the end, just as a little quick demo of chain piecing if anyone's not familiar, I'm just taking the next piece, okay, to sew together. I'm not lifting the foot, I'm not cutting the thread, I'm just feeding it through, and the machine will pull it through, okay? Now imagine it says make 12 half square triangles. That's effectively what you will do. When it says make 12 half square triangles, you're going to sew your triangles together like that, okay? You'll end up with a lovely piece of bunting, okay? And once you've got your bunting, you then go over to your iron, and if you remember last week, we press, we don't iron, but we've always got to set our seams first so that the thread embeds into the fabric. So press, press, and what we're going to do is just using, if you can see here, I'm a bit far away, I know, I'm using the point of my iron as like a hot finger, and I'm just going in the middle and I'm just taking it right across the seam to press it back, and then I'm going to press it down. And that's basically how you get a nice flat half square triangle. So if I just repeat that again. So I'm just going to lift the coloured top, the colour patch back, use the point of the iron as a hot finger and press, not iron, okay? So they're the 2 pieces I need to finish off making the bit that I've done. I didn't want to go through all that again because we did all that last week, and there's no point you just sitting here watching me. I want to show you how this block gets constructed, but also what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the different ways that I use these rulers to square up these blocks. Now these little patches I've just done, they should finish at 2.5 inches. It's not in your pattern, that's because I want you to watch the videos. If you want to make a note on your pattern, they are 2.5 inches. So if you want to make a note, that's fine. Okay, so what I'm going to do with the first ruler, if everyone can see that, I put this 45-degree line on the stitch line. Okay, and it would be helpful, bear with caller, I need a rotary cutter. Hi Sandra, hi Tanya, Lucy, Melanie. Yeah, I've got you all in, haven't I? Hiya, thanks for coming everybody. Right, so what I'm going to do is, because I've got my 45-degree on my stitch line, I'm going to cut off any excess on two sides. Now if you've got a, what do you call them? A twirly cotton mat. Oh, what do you call rotating cotton mat? Twirly. Right, and then what I'm doing is I'm going to turn it round, match the diagonal line with the stitch line again, and then cut those two sides again. Okay, so you can see there I've hardly cut, oh I didn't cut that properly, sorry, one sec, I think I need a new blade. Right, so you can see that's all I've trimmed off that, but I think it's important that you do your trimming, because you really want to try and get your patchwork as accurate as possible. So it's only a little bit that you're doing, okay, and that's just because the fabric will stretch. Now that's one example. So then if I go to the Super Duper Creative Grids ruler, so I'm using this one now, and again all I'm doing is I'm matching the seam line up with the dotted line, 45-degree line here, but I'm also looking at this 2.5-inch square. Okay, I'm trying to make sure that my block overlaps both of those 2.5-inch edges there, because that's where I'm going to trim. So I'm happy with where that positioning is there. 1 second. Yeah. And all I'm doing is put my rotary cutter in the channel, and I'm cutting up either side of the 2.5-inch line, so you can see when I move that away, tiny sliver. Okay, and then I just rotate the block again to do the other two sides, 45-degree dotted line down the seam line, make sure I'm within the 2.5-inch. Yeah, I mean there's hardly anything coming off these, so, okay, because I did cut these to size, so there you go, just tiny little bits. Okay, so now they are the exact size that I need, and if you can see, the seam line goes right the way through the point in each corner, and that's what you're looking for. You don't want it to be one side or the other. It's got to be exactly center point of those two corners, and that means you've got your angle spot on, and you've got a better chance then of your patchwork looking good and all your bits and pieces matching up together. Okay, so that's them rulers there. All right, so once you've made your flying geese and your half square triangle, step 3, we're now going to start making row 1. So what I suggest is you have your little diagram next to you, so you know exactly what you're doing. Okay, and we're going to do row 1. So it says take one piece B, which is one of the rectangles. Have I done that yet? And 2 half square triangles, and sew the half square triangles are both at short sides. Now what I've done is I've gone ahead and made row 1 and 2, so I'm just going to talk you through it. So this is piece B, and I've took 2 half square triangles and I've sewed one either side, following the direction on the pattern of the way these coloured squares need to go, sorry, triangles need to go, and they're on the short sides there. And then it says add a half square triangle to the left and the right hand sides of this piece, which I've done, as you can see, to the left and the right. That is row 1 finished. Okay, simple as that. Row 2, step 4, you take 1 flying geese, which is that one there, and again I've looked at my pattern to make sure I've got the right colour. If you're not bothered, if you're using scraps or using all the same fabric and it makes no difference, don't worry about, you know, whether you've got the right colour or not. Just go ahead with your own fabric. And then what you need to do is you need, onto the flying geese, you need to sew 1 piece of D either side onto the short edge. So D is actually just the square background piece there. Okay, so D has been sewn onto either side of the flying geese. Okay, and then finally I then take a half square triangle in the appropriate colour for me, and I sew them either side of D. Okay, and that's row 2 completed. And what I've done is I've just gone ahead and I've joined them together, and when I've joined them together I've nested them. So when I've been ironing the seams, I've ironed row 1 seams that way and that way, and row 2 seams in the opposite direction, and that way then you can nest your seams and you can get really, you're not going to miss any of your points on your triangles, and you're not going to cut your point off your triangle there. Then what I've done as well, because these are quite bulky on the back, I've actually pressed the seam open once I've nested them and stitched them together. Okay, and I'll be doing that for the whole of the block. So I'll be pressing the seams one way or the other, depending on which way they are in the previous row. And then to finish it off, I'm giving it a good press. You can see that's been under the clapper as well. So I mentioned this last week. This is the Millwood Quilters clapper. So once I've pressed them, that's been sitting under the clapper and it gets a really good press. Okay, right, so that's row 1 and 2. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to skip ahead and we're going to go to row 3. Now row 3 says take one piece C. Now C in your pattern is the big 4.5 inch centre square. Okay, and it says sew a flying geese block to the left and the right hand side. So what I've done here is I've pinned it. So this is C, there's my other 2 flying geese blocks. Okay, and then after I've stitched them together, the instructions say sew a piece B, which is the rectangle pieces, to either side of those flying geese, and that will create row 3. Okay, now what I would suggest you, what I found easy to do when I was making this one, is read through the instructions and pin all the rows together so that you've got them all nice and neat. Okay, and that way then you can make sure that you haven't got anything in the wrong place. You can lay it out in front of you. Does that look like the pattern? If you don't want to pin, you can use quilter's clips. Okay, but do that, and then you can make sure that you've got enough pieces, you've made enough half square triangles, you got the flying geese in the right place, and you're good to go basically. So I'm just going to sew this one together, and then I'm going to join it to the other row. Normally what I would do is I would do all my rows and then join them together at the end, but just to speed things up, because I know we've only got an hour, I just wanted to make sure that you could see how the block was actually constructed. Yeah. And what you should find as well, when you're doing your flying geese, just make sure that your blocks are your flying geese finish at 2.5 inches by 4.5 inches, because this is a 4.5 inch strip, so the length has got to match that, and the 2.5 inches is the width. If you are going to trim your block, if you trim it from this end here, just make sure that you've got at least 1/4 of an inch from the top of that point to the edge of the fabric. Otherwise, if you cut too much off this end, what will happen is you'll end up cutting the tip of your triangle off as well. Who's being naughty? Oh, Joanne, what are you doing being late? You can be forgiven. You're on Scottish time, aren't you, love? I'll let you off. Right, okay. So, as I said, don't forget it. I will save this later so you can go back and have a look at it, okay? Hopefully each week when we go through the different blocks, if I've released them right, you'll sort of like get a reminder or a skill builder each week. So that I won't need to keep repeating, you know, showing you how to do this, how to do that. Basically, you'll be able to just go ahead and go, oh yeah, I know how to do flying geese. And once you've made flying geese, if you do want to have a look at the magic ways of flying geese, I think I've got a document somewhere that sort of gives you all the different ways of doing the magic ways of making them, you know, making sort of 8 at a time and things like that. Or I think there was a demonstration on Sewing Street this morning actually about someone making flying geese a different way. But I think if you're learning, I think you do need to sort of understand the basics of a patchwork block first before you start going into little crafty tricky techniques and things like that. So right, okay, so there you can see I haven't pressed it yet, but I've still got the tips on my triangles. So that's row 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this here. I'm going to get row 1 and 2. So when I take this to the presser mat, I'm going to press, they're that way, I'm going to press them the opposite way. Which way? Yeah. I'm going to press them the opposite way so I can nest the seams. And I'll show you that in a minute. I'm just going to go and press this, okay? And do press as every time. You can finger press and use a seam roller if you want to. And that's what I did when I made this one. And when I make this one up, I'll show you what difference it makes between pressing and using, finger pressing and using a seam roller. So I'm just going to set the seams on every one I've just sewn. Okay. Now I'm just going to get this to help me, to remind me which way they need to go. And just check your pattern as well for your placement, because I need my orange that side and my green that side, so that's fine. Yeah, I'm going in the right direction. So that is going to have to nest that way, isn't it? Yeah. Right, now I'm going now. So I'm just pressing them seams the way they need to go. I'm just going to press the front once I've... Okay, right. Now we're getting on to nesting. Now I know that we talked about nesting last week as well. Just make sure I've done these right. Yeah. But I'll just recap that with you here. So when we talk about nesting, what we're trying to do is get the seams as accurately as possible, sort of snuggling in against each other. And when you press the seams in opposite directions, and you can see there, what you'll get is it'll want to snuggle up together, and it'll feel really flat, that seam. I don't know where you can see, there's a seam line there and the seam line there, so you can see they're nested up together. Okay, now I normally use quilters clips for these, because I find if I use pins I end up sort of putting it out of place again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right along. I'm going to nest every single seam, and if they don't nest you can sort of feel them, and I said that last week, didn't I? Yeah, okay, just do that. And also with the quilters clips as well, they do have a marking on the back. That's a 1/4 of an inch mark. So if you clip to the 1/4 of an inch mark, you can check how accurate your seams are before you stitch them. Oops, that's a pin. That's no good, is it? Right, I hope you can see. Right. Okay. So I'm just going to pull that back there. I know the camera angle's not the best, but I'm fairly happy with that. Don't know, you can see the seams are really in line with each other. So I'm going to take that to the sewing machine and I'm going to stitch that down now. Okay, making sure that my seam, my 1/4 of an inch is properly accurate, because I don't want to cut the top off any of my triangles if I can help it. It'd be good if you could watch me, eh? Excuse the state of the sewing room. I have been appliquing today and it looked like a BOM visit before. Right, I've just lost that there. Okay. That one, there you go. Yeah, I'm happy with that. It's good enough for me. There you go. So you can see there we've nested quite well and we've not chopped any of the points. Yeah, I'll show you the applique in a minute. I've not chopped any of the points off. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to set the seam on this, and then I'm going to I will iron that seam open as well. What I'm just going to do for now, because I'm conscious of the time, is I'm just going to press it one way because I want to get the other bits and bobs made. Okay, so now you can see where we're up to here. Oh gosh, that's got a bit wobbly, isn't it? So I've just done that bit there. Okay, so we're getting on with it. Now we're going to make row 4. Now in the pattern it says repeat the process as step 4 because basically it's the top 2 rows are the same as the bottom 2. Okay, so it's a simple matter of getting, and I'm going to lay this out here so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, I need my 2 Ds either side of like this and like this. And then on this side I need a blue that looks a bit like that. And on this side I need a red that looks a bit like that. Okay, so that is that row. And then the final row is going to look like, with my B there. See, because B is the same as the flying geese. So if you're not quite sure what size your flying geese should be, your flying geese should actually be the same size as piece B. Okay, just a little trick there to remember. Right, and then I need a red and I need an orange. So that's my last 2 bottom blocks. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sew these together. I'm going to pin them. Oh, and also as well, which I didn't do because I did this before, just cut your dog ears off when you're squaring up your flying geese. Just makes joining the side pieces on much easier. So I'm just going to go to the machine here, and I am being naughty. I should be pinning or clipping, but I'm not, for speed. So don't do as I do as I say and pin. Okay, but considering I have made this block about 5 times now, I should know what to do, shouldn't I? Pretty poor if I don't. Right, so, okay. Yeah, I will show you the applique in a minute. I brought a Joe Avery kit from Crafters in their sale. I do quite like Joe Avery patterns, so I thought, so I'll just use some scraps of Tilda because it'll probably work out horrible. And you know what, I really enjoyed doing it. Very simple and quick to do as well, I've got to say. So I will show you that in a minute. I've done raw edge applique, but I've used Bondi web, so I just had to blanket stitch it on the machine really. Okay. Oh yeah, does everybody, I don't know whether anybody actually has seen the pup at the weekend, but I'll just give Lucy's pup a little thingy. There's my little, now I filled mine with beans, gorgeous scented sandalwood pellets, because I want mine to be a pattern weight. So he's going to, in my big patterns that I do, my dresses, skirts, pants and that, he's going to sit right down the middle, because I don't have many pattern weights. So I thought, well, I might as well use him as one. So, well, actually him to here. This is Pippa Spot. So this is the class that I did with Lucy last week, and it's ever so cute. And we did it in speedy time, I think, if I remember rightly. So this is made with Tilda, but just love her. Love her. Actually, she can sit with me, actually. She can sit with me and sew with me. See, because she's filled with them, she just sits there. She's dead cute. She's lovely. Actually, it's a nice little weight on the shoulder as well. You know, if you've got shoulder pain, it does feel really nice on. Right, I'm just going to sew the last bit on. So the last bit on the bottom row, and then I'm going to press, and then it's a simple matter of joining the last 2 rows together, and then our block is complete. So these are relatively quick blocks. Once you cut out, if you use the chain piece and technique, and you're quite methodical and follow the directions on the pattern, I think you can make these blocks quite quickly, really. And I've actually loved seeing all your block ones as well, all the different fabrics that you've been using. Ooh, cut one up in Liberty scraps, have you really? No, Tanya, I'll show you how to do raw edge. I can't do needle turn, hon. My needle point work isn't that good at all, so I have to, I do raw edge. And then I've really enjoyed mastering the applique stitch on my machine. And I think you'll probably have one on your faff, I think, Tanya, you know. And I did it really quick before, and I'm quite impressed with myself. It's not too messy, so there you go. There's my last two blocks. So you can see how quickly they come together. So I'm just going to press these now. Make sure I press the seams opposite so I can nest them and join them. And then once these two pieces are joined, I can then add them to the bottom of the other piece. Okay. So where are we here? So I need to do them the opposite way. So I'm just going to, as again, just set the seams. I think the ironing on these takes longer than anything else, you know. But it's definitely worth it, because you'll see in a minute the difference a properly pressed block can make. Right, okay, so they're going that way and that way, so they need to go that way and they need to go that way. Oops. Right, that way and that way, yep, and then they need to go the opposite way. Okay. This is where you need to make sure that you don't get confused and sew your block upside down. Once you've pressed it, before you start nesting your seams again, make sure you've got it the right way. Okay, I think that's right, isn't it? Yeah, see, I had it upside down then, so yeah, you don't want to be sewing it on the wrong way upside down, do you? Right, so again, I'm just going through and using my quilt. And do you know, I didn't know this, I don't know whether you know this, when you actually put your quilter's clip on, I've always used it so that's the back and that's the front, but actually that's the back and that's the front. I didn't know that. Found that out this week. So I've been using quilter's clips wrong for like years. So there you go. So I must remember that next time. And it does make sense, because that explains why they've got the 1/4 of an inch mark on that side and not on the other side. Duh. Yeah. Right, okay. I want to get this done, and then I just want to show you the difference pressing makes. It's a bit like dressmaking, really. If you press while you're dressmaking, you get better results. Okay, so hopefully they're all nested. Now bear in mind, I am rushing this to get it done. You just take your time. Okay. Yeah, but it has been really lovely seeing all the the different fabrics everybody's been using. There's been some brilliant blocks. And I have to say, I'm incredible. I mean, I know there's nepotism here, but I'm incredibly proud of my sister, because I can't believe she's actually sewn a block. She's never done anything like that without me sort of there guiding her. So I'm really chuffed that she's done that. But everybody else's blocks, honestly, absolutely lovely. Liberty's going to look gorgeous, Lucy. Right. Yeah. I'm happy with that. That's not too bad. I haven't cut the tops off my triangles. Pippa's still here, keeping my shoulder warm. So I'm just going to set the seams again. And I was trying out the difference today, you know, because I've been sort of harping on about me. I've been trialing this Starch and Easy iron spray, because I found it to be just as good as Best Press. So I found a bottle of Flatter that I had, which is scentless actually. No difference at all. And I used linen, really tough, and it made no difference, honestly. Right, so I'm just going to join row 4 and row 5 onto, and again I'm still nesting. You'll get sick of the sound of that word, won't you? Are you nesting? Are you asking? Right, Okay. And if anybody is coming to the Galentine's retreat a week Friday, workshop, and is doing the Infinity Squared or the Caradale, take note. There's going to be a lot of nesting. Not so much in the Infinity because those pieces are squared, but anyone who's doing the Caradale, good luck. No, I've done Caradale. It's a fun one to make. It is really lovely. It's a bit more challenging, I would say, than Infinity Square, just because the pieces are smaller and there's more rows. That's all really. And you're working with smaller pieces, so that's the only thing really. But they're still beautiful quilts either way. Yeah, so there you go. So I'm just going to sew this final seam. Give this press a quick Jimmy Malarkey with the iron. Oh, I think I've gone slightly off on that one, but let me just see. Pull it back in. Yeah, there you go. Move that over. You don't want to be seeing the back of my head, do you? Right, nearly there. Right, chaps. So that is block 2 complete. We've got all our points, we've got nice nested seams, and we've got no blunt triangles at all, and that's really what you want. Now if you end up with a blunt triangle too, don't panic, it's not the end of the world, you know what I mean? But I'm just giving you the technique so that you understand what you need to do to try and keep those points nice and sharp, because believe me, when I first started patchworking, what was about January 2000, I first made a quilt with half square triangles in. Oh my god, I look at it now and I just think, what was I thinking? What was I thinking? I'm just going to take a minute, just we've got time. I'm just going to iron these seams flat, because I definitely want to show you the difference in proper pressing your block as you go compared to rushing it or just using your finger press and your roller. Right, one sec, and then I'll try and catch up with some comments, because I know I haven't really been keeping on top of the comments, have I, Pip? No, I'm a naughty girl today. Right, okay. Right. Oh, did anybody buy any Tilda at all? I was going to, but it seems it's just an awful expense when it first comes out, and I want it all, but obviously I think I want to go and see it before I spend out as much money as they want for it, really. So I might take a trip up to Empress Mills actually and go and see what they've got, because they normally carry the full range, and they were slightly cheaper, I think, than some online sellers this weekend, so we'll see. Right, I'm just going to do this final one. Okay. You know, if this works out the same size, I'll be gutted. But it hadn't. If anybody, and if what I'm doing as well, I'm actually be making 2 quilts. I'll probably give these to my boys, so I'll be making 2 exactly the same. I've never done that before actually, so this is a first for me. I don't normally use plain colours either. I'm not a plain girl. If anybody knows me, the more pattern the better. Right, okay. There is the block pressed. It still needs a bit of a best press on the seams on the back, but you see I've done them all back, or flattened them all. So now let's compare size. This is the one I finger pressed, and you can see everything's there, everything's fine, I've not cut it out, but by finger pressing and not pressing as I go, I mean, it's not far out, but it's a little bit out. You can see there. See? Now, if you multiply that by your 4 or your 8 blocks, however many blocks you've got in your quilt, that's how suddenly you find out that, you know, your rows don't match up. particularly like in this quilt, there's going to be no sashing in between these blocks, because it's designed to make all the blocks look like they're floating really. So yeah, so this one is the one that I just finger pressed, and it's no problem. I have ironed it since, that's probably helped, but I just finger pressed it as I constructed it. Whereas this one, I've actually gone through and I've ironed and pressed at every stage of construction. So I will just go back over that and just best press those seams nice and flat. And I think it does look better because on this one I didn't press the seams flat, so we've got like a little ridge there, whereas we've not really got those ridges. And I think if Diane from Stitch Cape is still on, I think she is a long armour, and I think as any long armour will tell you, they really do like nice flat seams. So that is block 2, everybody. So I hope that has helped you sort of with the construction. Again, I'm going to save the video so you'll be able to go back and look at it time and time again. I will go and have a look if I've uploaded block 2 with the rows on. I don't think I have, and I did mean to do that. I might have saved it and then forgot to upload it, so we'll replace it. So if you do want to download it again, please feel free to download it. You can download it as many times as you want over the next year from the website. It's perfectly fine. I don't mind you downloading it and giving the pattern to any of your friends or family to do as well. Just don't use it for teaching your own classes, please, or trying to pass it off as your own. That would be most useful if you don't do that. Right, so if there's anything else anybody wants me to talk to them about, because I've talked to you about everything I wanted to tonight, I'll just get the applique. I'll show you the applique. Yeah, let me just let me get the applique. So, oops. So if anybody has a Gemini, these were on sale really cheaply on Outcrafters, and it's such a shame because there's actually a set of 3. I bought all 3. So if you're a quilter, you'll know Jo Avery. She does a lot of applique quilts. She's always in. If you Google her, you'll see her patterns. She's absolutely beautiful. Oh, thank you, Joanne. That's a lovely comment. Thank you. So this is one of the applique kits I got it. So it's just the templates that you get. You get the positive and the negative templates, so you can cut round or cut out. Okay. It's a series of 3, so I've made this one here, but I am going to make that one, and I'm also going to make this one as well. And you can see she's used quite vibrant designs. So I basically went ahead and did that design, but with Tilda. So this is my applique that I finished this evening. I'll give a little close up. You see, it's just been machine stitched. So you can see the stitching on that red stalk there. Okay. Yeah, so what I will do in this design here, what she has done is she has just hatched it really in a way, not cross hatched, but she's hatched it to quilt it. So I think I'm actually probably going to do a cross hatch on it rather than the straight lines. I think I'd rather do that. I was going to do some fancy quilting on it. I don't know, shall I do some stippling? Now that's interesting, isn't it? But these were just Tilda scraps, and I've got to say, and what I did is I colour coded yeah, Lucy, I mean, I could pre-cut these because these are actually all on Bondaweb as well. So I could offer them as an online kit if you wanted. I could send them out to you. It wouldn't be expensive at all. But yeah, these are, you know, I think you can see that I've used the relevant colour thread for each piece, and I think it's really helped, you know, bring out the colours as well. I couldn't resist. I mean, you know, I couldn't resist. I did fussy cut that one. I didn't fussy cut the other, but I did that one because it's Tilda, isn't it? So these are just scraps I had. But obviously, you know, I mean, these projects actually great scrap busters. And this was just some scrap linen that I had. So you can see here, I'll show you how creased it was when I started. So it's just a scrap I had. So you can sort of see how creased it was when I started, and it's that linen that does crease up a bit. So I'll give it a good press with the Dr. Beckman. You can see it's nice, and that's the back. I'll show you the back of the applique. I'm not ashamed about that. That's the back of the applique. So this is iron on fleece. Now Lucy, I know you sell this, and I'm gonna have to get some off you because I was panicking thinking I didn't have any. But this is iron on fleece, so you can see it's only gone onto an. So that's been good to stabilise the applique stitching as well. You see it's quite neat on the back. There's no tension issues or anything like that at all. I literally did it in 30 minutes. So I was speaking to Lucy before and I thought, I really want to get this done before I start. So I literally rushed around like crazy doing it. Yeah, so and what I've done is, I'm not quite sure. Now let me know in the comments. Should I do binding or shall I just pipe it? Because Jo Avery's just piped hers in blue. I was thinking, I mean, shall I just put some red piping on, or what do you think? I've got these lovely reds. I love Spot. I mean, you can see, you can tell it's scraps because look, Spot matches the cushion. Hello, everybody. Oh, and I give Spot a little. When I was making this one, I sewed right through the head and give a little bit of frown lines when I put the button on underneath there. So yeah, shall I do red piping then, chaps? What do you think? Yeah, red piping. I don't think it needs borders, you know, does it really? Because I think it's fussy enough, isn't it? And I think if I put a border on, it's gonna detract. It's almost like these are in the sky when these are. I mean, yeah. I'll do that, Tanya. Yeah, I'll do the video. I'll make my own piping tomorrow and show you how I do it as well. Cause I do love making piping. Oh, I love making my own piping. I actually bought a load of K Facet 1.5 and 2 inch strips, just a scrap strip, of Festival Quilts 2 years ago, and I just made a ton of Kaf piping with it. Now, if you just hold on 1 second, I'll just go and get that. Bear with, caller. I'll be back in 1 minute. Right, I'm back. So I made the piping for this because this is a completely scrappy cushion, but I made that piping to go on this cushion when that was just slightly ombre'd. I don't know if you can see. Oh yeah, there. Yeah, because it was just a piece of, you know, the Kaf's shop cottons that he does. Yeah, red. I think red might be nice, mightn't it? So do I do it in spotty red, guys? Spotty red or this red? What do you think? Do you think spotty red might be nice? I know this is awful, isn't it? I'm asking your advice. I'm supposed to be teaching you stuff. Oh yeah, I hope you have, Melanie. I hope you've enjoyed it tonight. I said it's completely free, and I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you learn something as well, because that's the aim, really. Because I'm an avid, I love anything to do with sewing, as anyone knows me. So if I can pass on the knowledge that I've learnt, then oh yeah, have you not done, Jo? Oh God, oh Joanne, I'll definitely do it then, love. Yeah, I'll do that tomorrow on, actually, because I'm definitely getting this finished because I really want to see what it looks like. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an offset zip back as well. So I might video that as well and show you how I've done the offset zip, because I don't like to do zips that are dead close to piping. This one there, that's offset there, but I was a bit lazy. I just sewed it edge to edge, and I don't normally do that. I do inset it as well. I'll show you how to do it properly. But this was a scrap. Again, this is Til's one. This goes on my bed. But I was just trying out my Gemini 2 when it arrived, and I wanted to cut some heart shapes out. So these, I cut the heart shapes out, those size and those size. And these were the scrap bits of fabric that were left behind. And you know, like, you don't want to throw all your tills away, ever, do you? So I kept them, and I designed that little, you know, the Action Tills of Hibernation. You can see the little mice. And this is what I was going to do. I was going to do some stitching, but I don't think I'll bother. This has got Sashiko stitching on it, it's got stippling on it, it's got applique on it, and that was just scrap. So it is getting a bit fluffy the way scrappy quilts do, and that was scrap. It was a pieced on the back as well. I'm not a purple girl either. So aren't they cute, Lucy? Aren't they? I mean, and the heart, it was difficult trying to get the heart in the Gemini in the right place to cut them all out properly, which is why I was just doing a test piece. But I tried to get, isn't he just gorgeous? Absolutely beautiful. So this little cushion sits on my bed, much to my husband's annoyance because he doesn't like cushions on the bed. So yeah, but that was from Tilda's Hibernation, and these are just a real mix of Tilda, these ones. So yeah, so I will probably do might do that one next. I think I'll keep the Tilda theme going though, I think, and I'll try and just pick out Tilda that is. But what I might do is I might use all of the blue backing. Yeah, I think I might keep the black and blue, and maybe just alter the colour of the colours of the pieces that I use, and maybe alter the colours of the piping as well. Yeah, but it was really simple to do. Just I drew all the shapes out onto Bondi web, and then I ironed the relevant, cut them all out, and then ironed them onto fabric as best I could without wasting loads. And then I just ironed them on, placed them on. You do get the kits are really good actually, that come with it. I put it away. You get a placement sheet as well. I just eyeballed it and put it where I thought it needs to be, looking at that one there. So, and somebody did tell me the name of those flowers, and I don't know what they're called. I can't remember. Yeah, the blue back is nice. It's like sky, isn't it? But it's a really beautiful linen. I think it's dressmaking linen, to be honest, because it's got a bit of give in it, which is why I'm glad I've put the iron-on fleece on the back, because it's really stabilised it. This isn't stretching at all. So my next job is going to be squaring this off, making this all nice and neat. I will then get a piece out for the back, and I think what I'm going to do for the backing is I'm going to iron some of the iron-on fleece onto the backing as well before I put the zip in, because this is too stretchy to have as a cushion without the stability. And then I will make the piping, put the piping on, and then echinacea. Is that what that is, Lucy? Oh, I know. Yeah. It's echin, ECHINAC. Oh, I don't know. Isn't that what you take when you've got a cold though? Echinacea. Is that an echinacea plant? Oh my God. She probably says that, you know, in the I mean, I'll show you how easy the instructions are. There's Jo. She's a lovely lady. You might see her at Festival Quilts if you're going to Festival Quilts. So she does give you tips about needle turn applique and raw applique. I just didn't bother. Now she also tells you to do it bit by bit, but I didn't. I did it flower by flower because I wanted them to, you know, to be in where I wanted them to do. But you can make it into a table runner. Oh, Lucy, who was going to make a table runner? Yeah, table runner, and then gives you an idea for a quilt as well. So you see the way look at that. You could use the blocks, do it as an individual block, and make a quilt. So yeah, so it does give you. I think it would cost me £5 in the sale. I got all three of them. So I'm really chuffed with it, to be honest. And can you imagine it, like if you did it in Liberty, did it in Cave, you know, if you did it just in the plain colours as well. Oh, was it Tanya? Was it her design? See? Did you find that applique easy though, hon? Because that quilt was lovely that you did. Really nice. Yeah. I liked the colour, the way you laid it out colour-wise as well. Yeah. Right, my ladies, I think that's it then. So that was block 2. Block 3 is next week. Block 3 is there. That is an absolutely lovely block to make. So next week I will be loading up blocks 4 and 5. They'll be going on. They're all patterns already written. I've got the patterns written up to 9. There's some really exciting ones coming up as well, which I can't wait. I've saved, just so you know, I've saved the most complicated one right to the very end. Saying complicated, there's just a lot of pieces in it. It's still the same size as this, just a lot of pieces in it, so it looks really fussy, but I've saved that to block 16. Don't forget, you don't want to make this block. If you don't like it, don't make it. But just download all the blocks, keep them in a file or a folder, and then you've always got them then, haven't you? Even if you just want to think, right, I'm just going to make a quilt, do 12 of that same block, or, you know, or change the colours. Did you do a kaleidoscope? You could have 12 different blocks or 16 different blocks to do an ombre of colours. It's, you know, you can use the design as often as you want for your own use, you know, to make and that for yourself. So Righty-ho, that's it then. We're about a minute early, but I think that's because I whizzed through really, but I hope that's okay. If anyone is still struggling on doing the flying geese, half square triangles, let me know. But do please look back at the videos and hopefully you'll be able to follow them. I wonder who that was called, Tanya. Was it NM at all? Oh no, we did have a nice little session, didn't we, messing around with all those colourways on that quilt, I've got to say. It's a lovely quilt though. Yeah. Oh, and the other thing as well, I've got a UFOs page. Oh, thanks Lucy, thanks for coming, love. I know, can you just say big shout out to Lucy? She's actually in a little hotel somewhere in the Midlands this evening. She joined in even though she's got to be up and at Sowan Street for 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. So thank you so much, Lucy, for joining in. She's on telly tomorrow with a new pattern. Oh my God, Lucy, I forgot the name of it. It begins with P, doesn't it? Oh, have you got time to, are you still here? Can you type it in? Oh, what's it called? Sorry, that's my brain fog. I do apologise. That's my brain fog. But yeah, she's on Sowan Street tomorrow, so tune in if you can. She's with Amber Meeks. Yeah, Amber, yeah, she's not Amber. Becky Reed, she's with her tomorrow. But yeah, she's got a lovely pattern coming on tomorrow, so honestly, watch it. 10 at 12, pop in. Oh, thanks, Lucy. I was going to say Pippin. Oh, watch it, Joanne. It's absolutely good. And if you've got any knitters or crocheters out there, I'm telling you, you will definitely be making a pop-in, because I am making one as well. So definitely watch out for that, because I just love this. I love it, and I can't wait. I didn't test it for her, bless her. So I'm going to be getting the pattern and I shall be making it. Okay, and just to say, I do have a UFOs page now. I think it's called Nettie Makers UFOs. It's got the same logo on, just find it. If anybody wants to join along, I'm going to try and finish one project a month for 2025, starting from February now. So I am going to try and finish a barge yellow that I've had outstanding for about 4 years. It's very big, it's very large, and I'm going to pull it out later. I'm going to see where I went wrong, because I know I put it away because I went wrong on one strip. I'm going to see if I can repair the damage. I'm absolutely ashamed at my points because nothing matches, but I did start it 4 years ago when I'd only been making quilts for a few months. So I'm not going to correct it. I'm going to leave all the little mistakes in there, but I do want to finish it. So that's what I'm doing. If you want to see pictures of it, go onto the UFO page. And I think I've sent friend requests out to as many people as I thought might want to join. But if you just search for it, join it. And hopefully that's all trying to encourage ourselves to get some UFOs finished. Because imagine at the end of the year, 12 projects finished. Wow, isn't that great? Righty-ho, ladies. Well, I love you and leave you then. Thank you everyone for coming along this evening. I've loved loved all the comments as well. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, don't forget to watch Lucy tomorrow. I will be there. What was this one? I'm led across the website. What's this one? Brain fog. And I've just lost a comment I wanted to reply to. I've just oh yeah, Lucy had poor lighting today, didn't you? In the thing, the hotel you were in. You did well though. Oh, the comments aren't working. Someone's just said something. Doesn't matter if you're late. I think I was very early. Oh, Auntie Mel. Oh, hello, Auntie Mel. Oh, not lovely. Thank you for coming. That's really nice. Oh, I can't find that comment. I'll have to. Anyway, someone's put a comment on there. I will try and reply to it later on. Who said hello, boss? Right. Oh, and just so you know, I think I'm going to find out on Friday. Festival Quilts. I should be there, Festival Quilts this year. So as soon as I find out what sessions I'm on, I shall update you and let you all know. Anyway, bye for now. Have a lovely evening, and I'll see you all next week, 6 o'clock for block 3. Don't forget to download it if you haven't already. And you'll also, from Monday, be able to download block 4 and 5. Bye, everyone. Bye.